4th, that's the date. Saskatchewan begins its 5-phase plan to reopen its economy as cases of COVID-19 decrease in that province. Now, under the first phase, medical services like dentistry, optometry, and therapy will be allowed to resume. Some leisure activities even, golf, fishing will be permitted. However, all of this comes with strict physical distancing and cleanliness guidelines. Restrictions will be lifted on other businesses and activities over time as long as the province doesn't see a significant rise of coronavirus cases. But how many is too many? And is the province back in business too soon? When could other provinces hope to reopen their economies? Let's find out. Saskatchewan Premier Scott Moe joins us now. Premier, first of all, I hope you and the family are doing well. Always a pleasure to speak with you. I know the curve has been flattened in Saskatchewan, but flattening the curve doesn't mean the COVID-19 virus is gone. It could flare up once physical distancing is over. So without mass testing in place, without a vaccine, how did you and the province come up with May the 4th to start a staggered reopening?
Well, you're exactly right. The threat of spread of the COVID-19 virus remains. It remains in our communities here in Saskatchewan as it does across the nation and around the world. And we need to take every measure, both personally, individually, with our social distancing, with our hand washing, using hand sanitizer to ensure that we're doing everything to stop the spread of this virus, not only for our own health and safety, but for those of our family, and in particular those elderly folks, our parents and grandparents in our communities and in our long-term care facilities, as they are most susceptible to some serious consequences with this. How we came to May the 4th as our date was through working, yes, with business entities across the province, but also with our Chief Medical Health Officer, Dr. Shahab, our Saskatchewan Health Authority, our Ministry of Health. And this is a plan to reopen segments of our economy, yes, but it is a plan that is driven with public safety in mind, public ensuring that we are keeping our families safe in the weeks and months ahead. And it can be turned up or fast turned up, if you will, like that of a dimmer switch, but it can also be throttled back if need be. If not only our numbers increase, but the source of those numbers is concerning.
But the first date is critical, but then there's only 2 weeks between phase 1 and phase 2. Is that enough time, given the fact that, again, COVID-19 is asymptomatic? Testing is really low. Is that enough time to judge if the plan is working before you open up more restrictions in phase 2 or phase 3?
Right. So phase 1 and phase 2, we do have the dates out about 2 weeks apart. And phase 1 is really an expansion of our medical services, dentists, optometrists, things of that nature, where they are used to, as a course of the business that they do, used to working with personal protection equipment, used to ensuring the safety of their employees and their patients in any other year to similar communicable viruses like influenza, for example. So that particular phase of expanding our medical services is an area where those folks are used to working with this type of an environment. When we open our retail sector in phase 2, we will wait some period of time. We're not sure how long that will be yet, but it will be weeks at least to ensure that we have a good gauge of what is occurring with our numbers.
But Premier, you and I have spoken about this. The Prime Minister has said the national border is federal responsibility, but how provinces can reopen or close is provincial responsibility. I understand that. But if without a national coordinated strategy, and I understand the curve is different everywhere, the concern is when people say, oh, Saskatchewan's opening, you'll undermine trust in other physical distancing lockdown provinces. People will, I'll just coin a phrase here, pull a Saskatchewan, go to their cottage, which they're not supposed to do. They're doing it in Saskatchewan. I feel I can do it too. Could you be undermining the other rules in other provinces?
No, absolutely not. We have put orders in place across this nation at different times and in different methods, but we've done that in full consultation with other premiers. We have had our Council of Federation calls weekly for quite some time now, collaborating on which orders are going in, which restrictions are going in, and we continue with those calls as recently as this past Thursday on which restrictions are coming off, how those are coming off, and why those are coming off in certain jurisdictions versus versus other provinces. This is provincial in nature, and it is done with full collaboration and support, I would say, from premiers across the nation.
Do you expect other provinces quickly to follow your model?
I suspect there will be provinces that will be coming forward very shortly with their plan. I don't think it will differ very much from the plan that we have put forward. Some of them may, due to regional differences.
You've seen the devastation in the oil sector in Saskatchewan and Alberta, Newfoundland, Labrador. The government stepped up with some support, over $2 billion. In your mind, does that sector need more government aid?
Yes, the support is appreciated across the board for people in this nation, as well as the different industries, and in particular the energy industry with the Orphan Well program. But the fact of the matter is, this is an industry now that is in for temporary time in negative sale territory. I can't imagine any other industry that's ever been faced with a challenge like that for a short period of time. The federal government, like previous federal governments, stepped up for the auto sector with a liquidity package. That needs to happen for the energy sector, not just for Saskatchewan, Alberta, or Newfoundland, but on behalf of all Canadians. As this is a Canadian energy sector, it's important to the economy across the nation, and it's important to the wealth of all Canadians. So that needs to happen. It needs to happen sooner rather than later as well.
All right, I got to leave it there. Saskatchewan Premier Scott Moe, great to have you on the program.